What's up, y'all? This is your boy Deontay Young, or you can call me D Lamar. That's what you should start calling me, D Lamar. You want to know why you should start calling me that? Because that is my stage name, D Lamar. I chose that name years ago. And maybe it's a little controversial now as to why I chose that name. Um, but hey, we'll get into that one day. But this is my show called Hold the Throne. I thought about this a few months ago or so. I was like, you know what? I want to start a show. Yeah, here's a little description about what the show is, for all of you that are just like tuning in. Um, by the way, I am filming this and I'm live on YouTube. So if you're looking at me on YouTube, hey, I'm on this side. This is for the people that are going to watch this later. I'm not the best cameraman, so no, I don't. I Stuff's not completely set up. It's not there and there and there all over. So you get the side view and you get the front view. But anyway, I started the show because I was like, you know what? I want to talk to artists, that are up and coming, but not just new young artists that are up and coming. I wanted to talk to artists who are up and coming that have been up and coming for years that just haven't crossed that threshold yet. Um, and because that's me. Everybody that knows me knows that I love music. They know that I've been doing music for mad long, um, and it's something that it's just in me. I can't stop making music. I don't even know how to. Great coffee, by the way, and I got it from Target. It's Target brand actually. So I was like, you know what, I want to talk to these artists. And so let me tell you a little quick. A few weeks ago, I was on it was on Instagram. It was a post about auto tune from Antares, and they were just promoting their products. And so I write under it, I go, I'm about to start a show called well, actually, I didn't have a name back then. I was like, I'm going to start a show about you know up and coming artists that haven't made it quite yet, something like that. And then I totally forgot about it or whatever. And I was like, I don't even have no notes about it. I didn't do much. It's just a thought in my head. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna start getting to this. And so I was like, what could the name be? You know what I mean? And I didn't even know a name, but the first thing that came to my mind was Hold the Throne. Now, Hold the Throne is ultimately it was the name of a project that I wanted to do years ago. It was going to be a TV show about two roommates that basically, you know, did not they were procrastinators. They had great ideas but no execution. So Hold the Throne was like my way of saying, hold up, we'll get there eventually. But obviously, I have not created an award winning um, show yet called Hold the Throne. It was to be an adult sitcom, super raunchy, adult humor. Again, about two guys living together that basically, were just trying to make it out of. I don't want to say they were in poverty, but they were just trying to make it in life, trying to be successful. So anyway, I thought of that name and I was like, you know what? That's a good name for this show. And then I was like, nah, I don't know if it's a good name for this show. But I was like, I don't know what else to call it. So anyway, back to the auto tune thing. So what happened was, like, a few days ago, I actually got a response from that. It was, a young singer, a lady, and she responded to that and was like, "Oh my gosh, like I'm in." She was like, "I'll definitely be a part of this. Like I want to be a part of it." So I was like, "Uh oh, now it's time to jump on it." And I, I was like, you know, I'll send you some info." I didn't even have info, so I really started working on it. And I was like, "Yep, going with the name Hold the Throne." Didn't have artwork for a title or anything, but I was like, I'm about to do this. So let me just try to get a little closer so you can see my beautiful face. Am I still in the? I'm still here with y'all. YouTube, YouTube. Um, but yeah, so that's how that pretty much came about. So before I started this, I was looking at my I was looking at my TuneCore page, explaining, looking at my stats basically on my TuneCore. And I opened the page and it said that I had made $45 off of my music. So I'm like, cha-ching, $45. That's what's up, right? That's a little change in your pocket. Some DoorDash real quick, pay a half of a bill, a subscription to something. I got a lot of subscriptions that I need to cut out. But anyway, so I look at it and I'm like, oh, what, is this from plays? Like because artists don't make money on plays. I don't know if you consumers really know that. You have to stream a lot. So I'm talking about a million plays might get, I think, a little under $1,000, or if I'm wrong, like $1,000 for like a million plays. So it sounds good, sounds amazing, but you'd have to get a million plays per month, you know, for it to even mean anything, like you see like the end of year, Spotify's end of year, and you see the artists that are posting their stuff and they're like they have 700 million, streams. That's amazing. That's some money that they made, but also you got to do shows and stuff like that. But anyway, $45, right? So I check it and it's actually not from that. It's from, that was my um quarterly publishing, like money basically. Let's get that correct terminology. It's probably closed out, but let's see. That was from my that was from I gotta log in again. Let's see. Yeah, that was my publishing royalties for the fourth quarter. And so it's still a nice little bit of money to just have unexpected, but it's not a lot of money. Like I should be making a lot more. So I started asking myself, like, why am I not making this money? And this is a question that has been going on, that I've been asking for a while. I'm gonna just say I know some very talented people in the music industry that are not making that type of money, and they should be based on the talent. So a lot of times, us as artists, we know that we have the talent, but we get stuck in this world of how do we get people to actually care? How do we get people to listen to it? I'll post on Facebook, like everybody does, new song coming. Might be a 15-second clip, 20-second clip, 30-second clip, might even do a whole minute with some fantastic artwork. And, people, might get one or two likes, which is completely ridiculous considering you have family and friends on your Facebook page. But whatever. You might get one person that's like, oh, this is really good. Or most recently, I had somebody actually write me and say, amazing voice, like, and you'd think that once the song comes out, it'll get purchased or it'll get 5 streams from that person. But let me tell you what happens. You check your stats and you see those 5 streams, but guess what? Those 5 streams are coming from the artist. They're coming from me. It's me. It's me being happy that my new song is now on all of the major platforms. And so I, of course, mixed and, sent it to get mastered. And, I listened to it here in the studio over and over and over again, 200 billion thousand times. And then I just want to now know what it sounds like in the car. So, I play it there. I play it in the nice headphones. And yeah, I played like 5, 6 times, maybe in a row, maybe wait, listen to it again. But the point is, those streams are from me. So then you're like, hmm, well, where, like, is anybody gonna listen to this? You know what I mean? Like, why is, you know, how come I'm not getting, those plays anywhere else? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, how come I'm not getting more than 5? And then you post it on Instagram, you get a reaction, get some likes, you get some comments, but just nobody's listening. So you're stuck. You're really like, I don't get it. If I'm good, why am I not, making more money? And so this brings me to another company called Song Trader. So, and again, this is ultimately me explaining my musical career and my artistry and things that I've been through. So what I want to do with other artists is I want to know their journey. I want to know what keeps them motivated or what has motivated them and what keeps them motivated to continue. Um, so yeah, so a company called Song Trader. A few years ago, when I released my first album, Death of Me, which is still live on all platforms that you can look for. Actually, I released like a little 4-song EP, but it was like, you know, dance, techno, dark remixes or whatever. Different story. But my actual album was called Death of Me. And in that, um, I dropped about, I think it was like 20 something songs with remix. Well, it was like 25 tracks with, I think like two or three skits and then some remixes. But the songs were like maybe 15, 16 actual songs. It's a concept album about a guy who basically falls, well, he was in love already with his woman. They decide to go to Vegas and get married. She breaks it off literally the next day, and it's about his spiral upward or downward in his relationship and in music. So that's what that album is about. But anyway, that's still streaming now. The Death of Me by D. Lamar. Had a lot of great production on it. You know what I mean? Unknown producers who are amazing that should literally be superstars. But whatever. Um, Maybe I'll get to interview them too um, along this journey. But anyway, so with Song Trader, I was like, I had to search for that, just like I had to search for TuneCore because I had no idea how to distribute my music. I had to search for Song Trader, and I found because I wanted my music licensed. I wanted to have it in movies and music. I mean, movies and TV shows, and video games, things like that. So basically, I found Song Trader and I started uploading my songs to this for different opportunities. And you do it over and over, and you get denials and no, 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 this song doesn't work, this song doesn't work, this one doesn't fit, we're looking for something else. And these are auto generated emails, but still they it's a little bit of sting, being told no. But one day you start getting the ones that actually say successful, like you have been chosen. Or first it was like you've been shortlisted, which was like, I know what shortlisted mean, but let me look up what it means to them. But then after the short list, it's like you're confirmed. You know what I mean? Like we will be, licensing this for our whatever, our new app that's coming out, kind of thing, or whatever. So I started getting a lot of those, maybe like 9, 10 of the opportunities allowed me to stream, not to stream, but to be licensed through them. And some were for like music in games, you know what I'm saying, like apps and things like that. And then the cool one was, how you hear music like in the stores. So it was like the in-store music that you hear like at, you know, department stores or in malls or in bakeries and stuff like that that's just playing. So I got a few of those, and I'm like, man, I'm about to make a lot of money off of this. I'm thinking this is it. Like I'm getting paid. And then, Song Trader takes a piece and you get a piece and blah blah blah. But yeah, so then I'm like, oh, it takes like 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. Some of them take a year to pay for the payout. And I was patient, but I remember I was telling my brother, like, but it's so many of them that whatever, you multiply this amount times that amount, that should be a cool amount. So I was expecting to get paid maybe, a few $1,000s off of this licensing. First payout came, it was about $30. Maybe. I could be wrong. I don't remember what the first payout was, but I know it wasn't a lot. So I'm thinking it was like $30, right? And I'm like, oh, this one must just not been this just wasn't the one. And then they kept coming, and some were $10 and some were $8 and so forth. So I'm like, what can I say? At least people are hearing the music. So that was another, type of opportunity that I got with my music. But again, it's not garnering, like hundreds of thousands of dollars. And, I'm not really the type that wants to do shows. But also I feel like if your music gets out there, then you'll be approached to do shows. I've done live stuff in the past where I've gotten on the stage and sung my heart out, but it's really not my thing. I like the process of recording and then releasing it and being able to listen to it. And mostly I do it for myself. So that takes me to the point of, yeah, as an artist, we want to make money. Um, but we really do it, the real artists do it for fun because it's cool to do. Um, I wish that we still had that type of artistry in the younger artists because a lot of times, but I guess it kind of doesn't matter. But a lot of times, you watch interviews and you see them say things like, yeah, like I started rapping a few months ago and I put my stuff on SoundCloud and I got a bunch of views. And to be completely honest, if you end up making money off of that, with anything that gets you into a better position in life, a better situation in life where you can take care of yourself and your family, that's awesome. But to some of us, music means a lot more. It means a whole lot more than just saying I'm going to get a YouTube beat and freestyle over it, and that's gonna be a hit. And it kind of mirrors where society is now because you do have older artists like me who can still make music and have a youthful sound, but it's not that. And I was talking about this before too. Like I can't say I can't or I won't, but I haven't wanted to just make a song just because it was popular to do. I've made tracks where it wasn't my normal genre of music, but I don't think I have a normal genre of music. Maybe what people have expected of me, I've done the opposite or done something different. But, just to say, well, this is what everybody's doing right now. Let me ask this producer for this type of beat, or let me find this type of beat, and let me just rap some nonsense over it real quick just so I could, have a hit song and be forgotten in a month, 2 months. I don't do that. I make music that I like to listen to and that I think is fun. So, um, where was I? So you know, it sucks because you do have this feeling of, I know I'm making good music. People are telling me I make good music. They're telling me they love my voice. Maybe you should try, doing even this type of music because, you know, you're so good at this and that, But whatever, I'm gonna do what it is that I want. So that's why I wanted to do this. But I really think about like what can we as artists actually do to change this. So my thing now is I want to work with so many different artists. I want to support so many different artists. And I mean, you still got to be good. You got to make good music still. You know what I mean? Like you can't just, think you're talented. This isn't for people who are just like, well, I like music, so I'm going to make music. No, like you gotta, come on, you gotta do a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? You gotta do a little bit more than that. But if you do have the passion, I want to work with you. You know, not just the passion. Let me take that back. If you have the passion and the talent, I want to work with you. And that's why I really can't wait to interview this young lady that hit me up. She seemed like, she's really into it, and she basically told me, she was like, she just released a new single, and she had quit music for quite a while. And so I'm like, yeah, this is exactly what I want to talk about. But if you ever noticed, I am wearing an MTV shirt. So what does MTV mean to me? Well, it started the same year that I was born, August 1st, 1981, 20 days. 20 days before I was born, MTV started. That's always been something that has just kind of been a part of like, my history in music. It's just meant something to me. Like one of the biggest music television networks started 20 days before I was born. So, of course, as a baby doesn't mean anything. But by the time, I was old enough to start appreciating music, we had MTV. Um, and, it makes me think of like the first artist that I fell in love with musically, the ones that that I loved, So for me, Michael Jackson, 100%. If you're an artist and you were born in the 80s, like I don't know nothing about the 70s or the 60s. I know he was making music as a little tiny boy, little kid. But if you were from the 80s and you made music, you were definitely influenced by Michael Jackson. Period. Like you Michael Jackson was the dude. And not just the music, just everything, the dance. Um, he was the first person that I knew that had accessories that you could go get, like the jacket or the glove. You know what I mean? Like I loved other artists like okay, so secondly, I'll say New Edition. New Edition was probably like the group that I modeled myself after. I remember being in, preschool, well, not preschool, daycare. So I was a little older and I just wanted to be them. And I used to put on these little concerts and plan them like all day long or whatever, and then have the kids come watch. None of them were like, it wasn't like we were about to like sell out tickets or nothing. Um, and it was really imaginary. It was like imagination because I remember building a stage with blocks, and then like I was gonna be the lead singer, but we didn't have a microphone. Um, we made drums out of blocks also, and I'm talking like big blocks, not like Lego size. I'm talking about actual big size wooden blocks that we used to build, had handles on them and stuff like that. But in my mind, I think I really saw a band because I had like two or three of my friends. There was going to be a drummer, there was going to be another singer, and there was going to be a guitar player. So I don't know if I had kids up there air guitaring because I'm talking about when I was like 6 or 7 or 8. I really, the details are fuzzy now, but hey, that's what I wanted to do. Um, but yeah, New Edition. I used to say that Ralph Tresvant was my dad because I thought that I looked like him when I was a kid, and he actually kind of looks like my dad now, my actual father. Um, and then it was Prince, and like so we got Michael Jackson, we got New Edition, and we got Prince. And Prince was just I don't know, he was just like this magical, musician man. You know what I mean? Like I still don't understand him. Like he was just great. Like I remember hearing When Doves Cry. Um, I remember watching Purple Rain, the movie, and seeing this man just, like on the motorcycle getting the super pretty lady, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. He was making movies. Michael Jackson was making, many movies, which were great. I remember going to see Captain EO and stuff like that at Universal Studios um, on a Disneyland trip one time. But anyway, but yeah, so all of that was just amazing. And then there was one other artist that has stuck in my head since I was a kid, and that artist is Boy George. Now, I just, admittedly didn't understand what I was seeing when I saw Boy George. I mean, it was a white man that dressed like a white woman, but not quite because I'd never seen a woman with that much makeup on. Um, but his songs were just great, and he was just free and happy. And he was doing his little dance moves, walking and just singing, "Do You Really Want to Hurt Me?" And he had a great voice. and he was just great. And I remember seeing that as like a really at a really young age, just like what is this? You know, I mean, I didn't compute or think too much into it, but this is just a memory that I have now. So yeah, those were like some of the first four artists that I remember being really young. But then I get the influences from you know, my family, like my mom used to like Maze and Frankie Beverly. She used to listen to like the X Clan. Um, then you get my aunts would listen to Anita Baker and Sade. And I remember getting a little older, and it was actually one of my aunts that used to play Prince a lot too. But then you get older, and it's like Mary J. Blige. I mean, I remember hearing Mary J. Blige when I was probably like, I want to say 10 or 11. That might have been when her album came out, like Real Love. The What's the 411 album, and I just remember like, okay, music is definitely my thing. Like it's changing and it's getting harder, but not harder in a bad way, just like just more tough. Like it's here to stay, you know what I'm saying? Like it's strong. Not music in general, but those genres of music or whatever. Obviously music has been around for forever, kids. It's not going anywhere, and mine isn't going anywhere either. But yeah, so those were like some of my like early influences of music and stuff that I just gravitated towards. So it really just over time you just see where you were as a young kid. And I remember when I first went into the studio, I was about 16 or 17, and it was just like I'm actually in a studio. Before then, I thought you had to get a record deal to even step foot in a studio. And then it was just like, oh no, people actually can like make these things, get you a nice microphone. But the thing about it is, the way we recorded back then wasn't very, I don't think it was very feasible. You had to actually buy tape. And I don't think, I mean, I could have learned how to use it and do stuff, but yeah, nah. But I didn't get my first studio until I was like in my early 20s. And I just bought like all this equipment, didn't know how to use it, didn't know how to do anything. But, I figured it out. And so now, most recently, I put a lot of stuff together. You can't really see it now, but, here's a little piece of the microphone and, popper. And I got the shield, you know, everything. And I got my computer, so that's cool. I got, I hooked it up a little bit. Um, but yeah, it's like you eventually start doing things yourself. So what happened with me was I recorded a lot of music, and most recently I wanted to record two more songs at the time, two more. And so I talked to my, normal studio, the engineer that I normally go to, and he said he was busy. And of course, people not busy, but he said he was gonna take a break. And so I'm like, oh, okay, well, I don't want to really slow down, and this is what I love doing. And he meant like a 2 week break or something like that. But I was like, I get impatient. I do. I really do get impatient sometimes. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just start, my own stuff. I'm gonna try this myself. So, I got some equipment. I got a new microphone, got the mic stand, which actually should have got a more expensive one because it just slides down now, but whatever. I can record sitting down, which isn't necessarily recommended because you don't get that same energy, and it's just not the same. You can't do it the same. But hey, you do what you got to do, right? But anyway, so I was like, I'll just do it myself, and so I started, learning how to, get these different filters for the voice and things like that. And so I released now 4 songs by myself, you know, and maybe the mixing and mastering isn't the best, but it's satisfactory to me. So I hope when you guys hear it, you're there like, oh, this is too loud or this bass is too much. Cause I definitely got a song that got like way too much bass. But anyway, it is what it is. Um, that's just a little motivation, you know what I mean? So again, this is the first episode, or we call this one episode 0. I don't know if it's a pilot, but this is just an introduction to Hold the Throne. You know, I want to know what the other artists feel. I want to know their story. I want to know their struggles, and if there's fits, then I want to work with them too. Um, so yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Check out the artwork. Did that. I do all of my CD covers, well, CD covers, album covers myself. Artwork, pick and choose. Some of it I just, in the past I've just drawn and just threw some stuff together, found some good text. But you can do this on your own if you really love making music and just having fun doing it yourself. You can do it yourself, and you will spend a lot of money just in setup and things like that. But also, if you want to just go to a studio and pay per hour, I definitely 100% recommend that too. But you might get to a point where you're like, you know what, I think I can try this myself, or I can do this myself. Either or. If you love making music, don't stop. Just keep doing it. you know Watch YouTube videos, get motivation, learn how to do stuff, learn how to sing. I will even say, like, not learn how to sing. I don't know if you can learn how to sing. You learn how to control your voice, but you kind of already have to know how to sing, but whatever. Me, if you can't see in the background, I have a few instruments. I have some drums, and I have a little keyboard back here too. I don't know how to play the drums, and I don't know how to play the keyboard. I know how to play the skull head shakers, but that's about it. Um, but you can learn. There's programs. Shout out to Melodics. Um, I've been using their program to learn how to play, the piano. Learning music theory and keys and stuff like that. I just think music theory was literally like this super long, drawn out 800-page book. But really, it's just telling you um, which keys are what. Um, you get words like octave, eight, you know, from one point to the next, um, majors and minors, flats, half notes, that kind of stuff. So once you get that, you start learning better, um, and understanding music more. So I learned that in one sitting of a YouTube video. So I plan on learning more myself. I didn't. I went to you know, well, I started to take a recording class years ago, but um, I didn't stay in it because I thought I was about to actually get a record deal, and I didn't continue with school. Again, story for another day. But one second, we're going to pause. Well, we can't pause live on there. We'll pick up in a second.